Good morning, sir. Me and my teammates are presenting the project for Compiler Design and System Software Lab. The course code for the lab is 16CS373. The topic we chose for our project is sentiment analysis using machine learning and lexical analysis. The guide for our project is Dr. Anbunathan Ramaya sir, who is the founder and CEO of Digitrans Solutions Bangalore, as well as an adjunct professor at Dayananda Sagar University, Bangalore. My team members are Nikita A, Pavna M, and Rutuja L. Abstract of our project. So our project sentiment analysis using machine learning and lexical analysis is an important area in natural language processing. That is the process of automatically detecting affective states of text. And sentiment analysis so basically refers to analyzing an opinion or feelings about something using data like text or comments or article. It is a machine learning tool that analyzes text for polarity, which gives positive or negative with a percentage of positivity or negativity by analyzing the text. And it also deals with identifying and classifying opinions or sentiments which are expressed in the source text and the user-generated data, which is very useful in knowing the opinion of the crowd. Like for instance, if public sentiment towards a product is not so good, then a company may try to modify the product or stop the production altogether in order to avoid any losses. So hence knowledge-based approach along with machine learning approach are the two strategies which we use for analyzing sentiments from the text. So by doing sentiment analysis in a specific domain, it is possible to identify of domain information in sentiment classification. So by training machine learning tools with examples of emotions in text machines, machines will be automatically able to learn how to detect sentiment without any human input. So here in our project, we have developed a sentiment analysis model which is trained using Sentiment 140 dataset with lexical-based approach and machine learning, which will allow computers to learn new tasks without being expressively programmed to perform them. And also the model can be trained to read beyond more definitions to understand things like context, sarcasm, and misapplied words. Coming to the introduction of our project. So the problem statement of our project is that, so the main aim of this project was to build a model that will determine the tone of the text, whether it is a positive or negative, and by classifying the polarity of a given text at the document, sentence, or feature level as to whether the exposed opinion in a document, a sentence, or an entity feature is positive or negative, and also to collect and categorize data into different sets for different purposes. So in order to do this, we decided to train a model on the existing data from Kaggle such that the resulting model will have to determine the class that is positive or negative tone of the new text with maximum accuracy. So our goal was basically making the sentiment tool for measuring all sentiments by one tool and training it into a model in order to increase the accuracy of the result, which is measured by the sentiment tool. Objectives of our project. So the first objective of our project is to build two infrastructures. One is a real-time sentiment analysis using a data set which we have taken from Kaggle, which contains 1.6 billion tweets from the year 2009. And another one is by taking a real input from the website and comparing it with the trained model, which we have done using the Kaggle data set and displaying the predicted sentiment output. The second objective is to include lexical analysis approach to analyze positive and negative sentiments by using tokenization. The third one is to implement a machine learning algorithm to perform sentiment analysis and also apply logistic regression to get accuracy. Then the next objective is to understand and implement natural language processing techniques in order to clean all the tweets with the removing the URLs, the hashtags, the mentions, and etc. And the next objective is to achieve 80% or more in classification accuracy of the positive and the negative sentiments. And the final objective is to build a web application user interface for visualization process. So coming to the applications of the project. The first one is to to help review related websites such as movie reviews, product reviews, etc. The next application is to subcomponent technology detecting heated language in mails, spam detection, context sensitive information detection, etc. The third application is to use it in business and government intelligence, knowing customer attitudes as well as the trends. And final application is the different domains, knowing public opinions for political leaders or their notions about rules and regulations in places and etc. Coming to the literature review of our project. So we went through several research papers and we have mentioned a few which we have gone extensively in order to understand the project. So the first research paper we went through was sentiment analysis using machine learning for business intelligence. And it was done by Soumya Chaturvedi, Vimal Mishra, and Nitin Mishra and published on September 2017. So this paper basically suggests the use of sentiment analysis classification as an effective method for examining textual data coming from a variety of resources on the internet. The second paper we went through was optimization of sentiment analysis using machine learning classifiers by Jaspreet Singh, Gurvinder Singh, and Rajinder Singh. It was published on December 2017. So in this, they have told that words and phrases speak the perspectives of people about products, services, governments, and events on social media. So sentiments can be analyzed by extricating positive and negative polarities from social media text. And the last research paper which we went through was improved lexicon-based sentiment analysis for social media analytics by Anna and Mulvena and Jackson. It was published on December 2015. So in this paper, they talked about social media channels such as Facebook or Twitter, which allows for people to express their views and opinions about any public topics. So public sentiment related to future events such as demonstration or parades indicate the public attitude towards the particular event. So they had talked about how improved lexicon-based sentiment analysis can be used for social media analytics. We also went through few articles through the course of the project, and we have mentioned a few over here. The first one is NLP, that's Natural Language Processing, Introduction to NLP and Sentiment Analysis by Farhad Malik. The article was published on June 2019. So in this, the author has discussed one of the most important fields of natural language processing being sentiment analysis. And he has told that sentiment analysis can be a process of unearthing or mining meaningful patterns from textual data. The other article we went through was how to make a web application using Flask in Python 3 by Albherai Jury. And it was published on April 2020. So in this article, they talk about Flask as a small and lightweight Python web framework, which provides useful tools and features that make creating web applications in Python easier. Coming to the requirements analysis of our project. So the hardware requirements for our project are processor being Intel or AMD, 4 GB or more RAM space, and 5 GB or more disk space. Now the software requirements will be continued by my teammate Pavana.
Good morning, sir. I am Bhavna. I'll be explaining the software requirements of our project. We have used lot many packages. So we have listed down all the packages that we have implemented in our project. The first module is Flask with the version 1.1.1, where this Flask is used basically for a Python web framework that provides some useful tools and features that makes creating web applications in Python easier. Then we have used Pandas with the version 0.25.1. This is used as an open source data analysis and manipulation tool, which is built on the top of the Python programming language. Then we have used scikit-learn with the version 0.21.3. So this is the library of the Python that provides many unsupervised and supervised machine learning algorithms. Then we have used SciPy with version 1.4.1. So this is an open source Python based library which is used in mathematics, scientific computing, engineering, and technical computing. Then we have used sklearn. sklearn basically contains a lot of efficient tools for machine learning and statistical modeling, including the classification, regression, clustering, and dimensionality reduction. Then we have Jinja 2 with the version 2.11.1. So Jinja is basically a fast, expressive, extensible templating engine. It will provide some placeholders in the template, which allows writing the code similar to the Python syntax. Then we have NLTK, which is basically a natural language toolkit, that is a suite that contains some libraries and programs for statistical language processing. Then we have SIX. SIX is basically a Python 2 and 3 compatibility library. We have used the version of 1.12.0, and it provides some utility functions for smoothing over the differences between Python versions with the goal of writing the Python code that is compatible on both the versions, that is Python 2 and Python 3. Then we have used Workzio with version 0.16.0. So basically, this is a web application library. It begins with some simple collection of various utilities of WSGI applications, which has become one of the most advanced WSGI utility library. Then we have used Unicorn with the version 20.1.0, where Unicorn is a greencorn in a Python WSGI HTTP server for Unix. So it is a pre-fork worker model ported from Ruby's Unicorn project. Then we have used Click with the version 7.0. And Click is a Python package for creating some beautiful command line interfaces in composable way with a little code as necessary. Then we have used Scicop2 binary with the version 2.8.5. So this is the most popular PostgreSQL database adapter for the Python programming language. Then we have used SQL Alchemy with the version 2.5.1. So this is an extension of the Flask that adds support for the SQL Alchemy for our application. And it aims to simplify using SQL Alchemy with the Flask by providing some useful defaults and extra helpers, which will make easier to accomplish some common tasks. Then we have used the Joblib with the version 0.13.2. So this contains a set of tools to provide a lightweight pipelining in Python. Basically, it offers some transparent disk catching of the output values and lazy re-evaluation, easy, simple parallel computing. Next slide. Then we have SQL Alchemy with the version 1.3.18. So this is a Python SQL toolkit and object relational mapper that gives some application developers the full power and flexibility of SQL. Then we have Python date util with the version 2.8.1. So this is the module which provides the extensions to standard date and time module available in the Python. And then the last module is Python with the version 1.17.2. So this is a general purpose array processing package that provides high performance multi-dimensional array object and tools for working with these arrays. Next slide. System design of our project basically contains the technologies. Next slide. We have used various technologies in building our project. So some of the technologies are natural language processing. So this is one of the most important fields of NLP in a sentimental analysis. And it is a process of unearthing or mining the meaningful patterns of the test data, where it will help us to attain the attitude and mood of the wider public, which can then help us gather insightful information about the context. This can help us to predict and make accurate calculated decisions that are based on large and sample sets. Then we have lexicon-based sentimental analysis. So its application is one of the main thing we have used in our project. With the approach of this, we have a dictionary of positive and negative words, which is required with the positive or negative sentiment value assigned to each of the words. So apart from a sentiment value, aspect of the local context of a word is usually taken in consideration such as negation and intensification. Next technology is machine learning. So by training machine learning tools with examples of emotions in text, machines automatically learn how to detect a sentiment without a human input. So this machine learning allows computers to learn new tasks without being expressively programmed to perform them. Sentiment analysis models can be trained to read beyond mere definitions to understand the things like context, sarcasm, and misapplied words. Next slide. The next technology is Flask for web development. Flask is a small and lightweight Python web framework which provides some useful tools and features that makes creating the web applications. So Flask is also extensible and does not force a particular directory structure or require a complicated boilerplate code before getting started. Then we have a logistic regression. Logistic regression classification is used as a classifier and unigram as a feature vector for accuracy. So this is so the idea here is to divide the training set into positive and negative text count all the words and make a Python dictionary of the frequencies in positive and negative traits. So for every text, make a vector of a bias units, sum of the positive frequencies of all the words and also their negative frequencies. Then one more technology we have used is data science. So which is an interdisciplinary field that uses some scientific methods, processes, algorithms, and system to extract knowledge and insights from the structured and unstructured data and apply the knowledge and actionable insights from the data across a broad range of application domains. Next slide. The system architecture of our project, basically the sentimental analysis is a process which analyzes the expert and excavates the sentiment or the opinion of the users either from a stanza allocation or a speech tweets with the help of natural language processing. So it is a process which converts unstructured data into meaningful data, and it is a study of meaning. Sentimental analysis classifies opinions into polarity like positive or negative. So this is a system architecture diagram of our project. First, we have a word features, then we extract features from the words. So the word features is basically classified into two, positive and negative text. Then the features are trained, and then it is classified into positive or negative according to the polarity. Next slide. Then approaches of sentimental analysis. We have basically two types of approaches, that is machine learning approach and lexicon based approach. Machine learning approach is further classified into supervised and unsupervised. Lexicon based approach is further classified into dictionary approach and corpus approach. Next slide. Machine learning approach is nothing but it is a process which defines some predefined data set that is given, an algorithm is trained on it before applying it on an actual data set. So it is classified into two types, unsupervised learning and supervised learning, where in unsupervised learning, it is a technique in which there is no predefined data set that is provided. So there is no correct target and therefore it relies on clustering. For example, DNA patterns to analyze the evolutionary biology. Then supervised learning, in this techniques, a predefined data set is given and the trained data sets provide some genuine output when assembled at the time of judgment. Next slide. Some of the features which are used in sentimental analysis is words and its frequencies, parts of speech labeled, and sentiment words and phrases, negation. Next slide. Second approach is a lexicon-based approach. So this is a method where it concentrates on sentiment dictionary, the slant of words and phrases. So it matches these dictionary opinions with the data to find the polarity of the words. So lexicon-based approach is further classified into two, that is dictionary approach. So in this method, a set of sentiment or opinion words is accepted, collected, and illustrated manually. So this happens by exploring the synonyms and antonyms from the dictionary. And new words are also added to the list, and process goes until no new word is found. On the process, it is completed, manual inquisition is done to remove the errors. Then we have corpus based approaches. So basically, this method deals with the context-specific orientation. It basically works for the words which appears together like and, or, either or, neither nor, etc. Next, my teammate Nikita will continue.
Good morning, sir. I'm Nikita A, and I'm here to explain the modules. We have divided our modules into 12 different, we have divided our project into 12 different modules. The first one is import package and dataset module. Importing the data and performing an inspection of the headline strings. Some of the important packages that we have used are NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, NLTK, String, Potter Steamer, and we read data from the Sentiment 140 from Kaggle. It contains a labeled data of 1.6 million tweets, and which gives us a good amount of data to train our module. The second module is tokenizing the data. To convert the text into tokens before transforming it into the vectors.nltk.corpus, import stop words library is used for tokenizing the data. The third module is feature extraction. We have used text formatting techniques which will aid us in the feature extraction, such as URLs and user references are removed if we are interested in analyzing the text from the tweet. Punctuation marks and digit numerals may be removed if, for example, we wish to compare the tweet to the list of English words. Lowercase conversion. Tweets may be normalized by converting it into lowercase, which makes its comparison with an English dictionary easier. Steaming. It is a text normalizing process of reducing a derived word to its root or stem. For example, a steamer would be reduced to phrases stemmer, steamed, steaming to the root word stem. The advantage of steaming is that it makes comparison between words similar, as we do not need to deal with the complex grammatical transformations of the word. In our case, we have employed the algorithm Potter stemming on between the tweets and the dictionary whenever there was need for comparison. The fourth module is normalization of data. Words which look different due to casting or written another way but are the same in the meaning need to be processed correctly. Normalization process ensures that these words are treated equally. Text counting. To analyze the text variables, we create the class text counts. In this class, we compute some basic statistics on text variables. Text cleaning. Before we start using these tweets, the text needs to be cleaned. We will use this to class clean the text. The next one is the null safety. To check its null values, there are various tools for doing that. Train.isNullSum will determine how many nulls are you dealing with in each column of the pandas data frame. Next slide, please. Training model using lexical approach. Once the data is cleaned and sent into the clean tweets.csv, we take data from the clean tweets and apply lexical analysis in form of tokenization, where we break down all the words into tokens, and then furthermore, it's classified into positive and the negative tokens. The sixth module is Zipflaw for data visualization. The Zipflaw states that give some corpus of natural language utterances. The frequency of any word is inversely proportional to its rank in the frequency table. The seventh module is splitting of data into positive and negative. We have used the natural language processing, that is the NLP, in order to analyze and train the data in clean tweets.csv into positive and negative portals of the word. We have used the NLTK package along with its library for the classification, and then later we have trained and stored them into the model, which could be used in further circumstances. When comparing for analysis of an external speech given as an individual input from the user. The eighth module is the data visualization. In the case of tweets, textual analysis, is the most important analysis, and it gives a general idea of what kind of words are frequent in the corpus. In sort of quick and dirty way, we use Python library word cloud. Next slide, please. Word cloud for negative tokens. Some of the big words can be interpreted quite neutral, such as today, now, etc. You can see some of the words in smaller size, which makes sense to be used in negative tweets, such as damn, bad, miss, etc. But if it is sad, is rather on the big side. Next slide, please. Word cloud for the positive token. Some of the big words can be interpreted quite neutral, such as got, going, etc. Some of the words in smaller size, which makes sense in the positive suites, are bet, don't, and small, want, etc. But there is love in the bigger side. Next slide, please. Bar graph for the top 500 tokens. On the x-axis is the rank of the frequency from the highest rank from the left up to the 500th rank to the right. The y-axis is the frequency observed in the corpus. That is Sentiment 140 database. Next slide, please. ZipF log graph frequency versus rank. On a log-log graph with x-axis being log, y-axis being the frequency, by plotting a log-log scale, the result will yield roughly a linear line on the graph. If in the below graph, we can roughly see a linear curve, but deviating above the expected line on the higher rank words. And at the lower rank words, we see the actual observation lines below the expected linear line. Next slide, please. Bar graph for the top 50 negative tokens. Even though there are top 50 tokens that can provide information about the negative tweets, some neutral words such as just, day are one of the most frequent tokens. Even though these are the actual high frequency word, but it is difficult to say that these words are all important words in negative tweets that characterizes a negative class. Next slide, please. Bar graph for top 50 positive tokens. Again, the neutral words like just, they are quite high in the rank. And if we plot the negative frequency on the word of x-axis and the positive frequency on the y-axis of the bar graph, we get the top 50 positive tokens. Next slide, please. Seaborn graph for negative frequency versus the positive frequency. With the help of Seaborn packages, we can visualize the distribution of the target variable. Here, we can see the distribution of the target variable, such as negative frequency versus the positive frequency. Next slide, please. Result accuracy using sklearn model. Accuracy score, Y validation of prediction. This function computes subset accuracy. The set of labels predicted for a sample must exactly match the corresponding set of the labels. Next one, that is the 10th module, is the gram feature accuracy. An n-gram feature is a sentimental prediction that can increase the accuracy of the model in comparison with only single word features. The 11th module is the Flask framework and Postgres for web app. Flask is an extensible and does not force a particular directory structure or require complicated boilerplate code before getting started. PostgreSQL is powerful, open source object relational database system. PostgreSQL allows us to create the databases and stores the data. Output visualization module. That is the last module and the 12th module. The visualization module provides the graphical display of finite element models and result. It obtains the model and result information from the output database. You can control what information is placed in the output database by modifying the output request in the step module. Now my teammate Rutuja will continue with the topic.
Good morning, sir. I am Rutuja. I'll be explaining briefly about the implementation of our project. Next slide. So first, we started by importing all the necessary modules and libraries such as NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, NLTK, RE, String, and Stopwords. For this project, we have used dataset as Sentiment 140 from Kaggle. Tweet text often consists of other user mentions, hyperlink text, emoticons, and punctuations. In order to use them for further training, we have to clean the text data using various pre-processing and cleansing methods, such as stemming, removal of hyperlinks, emoticons, punctuations, mentions, and stop words. So next, we tokenized the data by chopping it into pieces called tokens. And then next, we separated the positive and negative tweets of the training set in order to easily visualize their contained words, and applied word cloud visualization, which shows only the most emphatic words of the positive and negative tweets. Then we extracted the top 500 tokens from the trained data and plotted into a bar graph. Next slide, please. Then we applied Zipf-law and plotted a log-log scale that resulted in a roughly linear line on the graph. We further applied counter vectorizing to get token frequency data for tokens without stop words, divided into positive and negative tokens. Next, we plotted bar graphs for top 50 negative and top 50 positive tokens. Utilizing the Seaborn library, we plotted a SNS graph of frequency of negative tokens versus the frequency of positive tokens. With 1.6 million tweets, if we build vocabulary without limiting the number of vocabulary, we get more than 260,000 vocabularies. This sounds too big to train various different models with. So we decided to limit the number of vocabularies by exploring stop words, assuming that removing stop words is a necessary step and will improve the model performance. So we ran a test with and without stop words by defining custom stop words list, which contains top 10 most frequent words in the corpora, and compared the result by a model we chose to evaluate different count vectors is logistic regression. It is one of the linear models, so computationally scalable to big data compared to models like KNN or random forest. Then we checked the accuracy on validation set for the different number of features by calling the N feature accuracy checker on 3 different conditions. First with stop words removal, second with custom defined stop words removal, and the third without stop words removal. And then finally, we created a web application using Flask framework and PostgreSQL, which takes a single sample input of paragraph from the user, which is compared with the trained model, and the resultant percentage of positive and negative sentiment is calculated and displayed. Next slide. So here we have result screenshots of our project. Next slide. This is the example for positive result, that is consumers are enthusiastic, happy, or excited. So in the text box, user has entered the product is very good. Good, it is a positive word. So after clicking on submit button, the result will be shown as positive with 91% confidence. Next slide. This is the negative result, that is consumers are angry, annoyed, or frustrated. So here Sana hates this product. Hates, it is a negative word. So after clicking on submit button, the result will be displayed as negative with 92% confidence. Next slide. Next, we have conclusion of the project. Next slide. So this project tackles a fundamental problem of sentiment analysis, sentiment polarity categorization. Here, our ultimate aim was to come up with sentiment analysis which would effectively categorize various reviews. Through this project, any person or brand will be able to analyze the opinions or feelings about the various products using data like text. Companies or markets can use this project to take user reviews about their services or products. This is user-friendly, free of cost, and easy to use, where the consumers can type their sentiments or opinions about any project or services related to any company or market. Then based on the sentiments, percentage of strength, that is positive sentiment, and the percentage of weakness, that is negative sentiment, will be calculated and it will be displayed with accuracy results. By investigating and analyzing customer sentiments, these brands are able to get an inside look at consumers' behaviors and ultimately better serve their audiences with the products, services, and experiences they offer. Next slide. So here we have the future scope of the project. Next slide. The future of sentiment analysis is going to continue to dig deeper, far past the surface of the number of likes, comments, and shares, and aim to reach and truly understand the significance of social media in interactions and what they tell us about the consumers behind the scenes. So right now, we are exploring parts of speech separate from the unigram models. Further, we can try to incorporate POS information within our unigram models in future. Next slide. Declaration. Next slide. Me, Rutuja, and my team members, Nikita, Pavana, and Pavitra, hereby declare that a project sentiment analysis using machine learning and lexical analysis submitted to Dayanand Sagar University during the academic year 2020 and 2021 is a record of an original work done by us under the guidance of Dr. Ambunathan Ramaya. And this project work is submitted in partial fulfillment of the award of the degree of Bachelor of Technology in Computer Science. The result embodied in this thesis has not been submitted to any other university or institution for the award of any degree. So next, code